How's it going, team? Move this down. All right, it's going to be a shorter stream again today. Still, as you can hear, feeling absolutely dreadful. So this, whatever this virus or flu is, it's not going away. It's only getting worse, unfortunately. But let's make sure you are set up for today. All right, I'm going to start on the daily chart as always, and you can see in the daily we are still technically making from pivot high, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? What we're going to do today at the moment is start with an inside bar. So yesterday was a big, very, very low volume drift higher, all right? There was absolutely no volume yesterday. If you look at yesterday's volume compared to the last 3 days of sell volume, there was just nothing. No one's at the charts this week, all right, because it's holiday week. So you need to be careful. But we are now building an inside bar. Did we look above and fail overnight? No. All right, so we're watching. I would be watching for 2 or 3 potential plays today. One would be a look above and a fail back inside the range. That would be probably the most common thing I would see highly likely to happen today. All right, a look above previous day's high. I don't know how high it wants to get. I wouldn't imagine, if bears have got any sense, that they'll let it get anywhere near the 300s, but some kind of look above and fail back inside the previous day's range, I would say is fairly probable. If we get above and we hold previous day's high and we start to build out, that's a very bullish move to come back up maybe to this low volume node, 300, 400s. Wouldn't have to be doing that today, but it's something I'd be aware of if we're going to base it above previous day's high. The last thing we can think about is a pullback, probably somewhere into where we can find some structure for that move higher. All right, so those are the 3 things I would consider. Most of the action is going to take place in here today. I don't think we're going to be either side of that range unless some news driver like the 10 a.m. news changes something. Okay, let's get into the hourlies. You can see here we are still sat inside previous week's value and previous day's value now as well. In fact, I'm just going to mark out, make sure that previous day level was accurate. Give me just a moment here. It's 9:30. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're trading inside. Oh, don't do that. We're trading inside of the previous week value area towards the upper side of it. We've rejected previous week value area high up here. We've created a previous day value area high up here. We have previous day value area low and previous week point of control below us. So if bulls are going to defend, right, then we're going to think about a rotation down into here and then looking to defend that. If they fail to defend that, what we're thinking about, we'll probably look below and fail. All right, probably a little look underneath into some RBS structure, back inside and fail. I expect the rotation to happen in here today. That would be my expectation for today. So I'd be thinking about buying sort of 740 down to, let's call it 600, somewhere down there. Once we get down there, if structure forms for that kind of move, and I would think about selling sort of above previous day value area high if it has the strength to get above, somewhere into like these 100s where we get a bit thicker, and then reselling this for that rotation back down. I don't really want to trade in the midpoint, which is where we're opening up. Of course it is in no man's land, right? I don't really want to execute in no man's land right now, right? Because this is your range. We don't really want to be executing here, right? We want to be fading tops and buying dips down here. If the market gets very heavy for some reason, if this is a 2-leg and they're ready to sell it again, right, you need to be aware of getting stuck under here, because that is going to really open the door to use all this liquidity. So you cannot just willingly buy this on dips down here. We'll need to show you some form of structure to get involved in. All right. Zoom this out a bit. All right, as you can see overnight very clearly, we've rejected up here twice and trying to create some form of range up here at the moment. All right, if they can hold this, they're probably going to look for that squeeze, and then a fail up there would be what I'd be thinking about off the morning drive. If they squeeze up at the morning drive and then they sell into here, I'd be interested in that count. Well, potentially trying to time the pro trend short. Let's have a quick look at ES. I imagine it's exactly the same. Yeah, surprise, surprise, no difference there. Let's go to, in fact, that's actually come right into its supply and that 720 level. So even better area of resistance up there. Let's go to the spiders. Right, spiders have a call, or they did yesterday, I haven't checked this morning. Set 670 was a call wall. All right, it's a big options level. All the time we're under that. They're probably looking for a rotation back down to somewhere sensible after such a giant move. So I'd be watching that. 670 on the SPY. We can set a little price alert there just in front of it. All right, QQQ, same kind of story. Not quite as frothy up here, but you can see we've come into this kind of level where we failed from. All right, so you'd imagine this is going to be where we're going to fail from, and it's just whether bulls catch that rotation or we do this move down. That would be my expectation. Let's have a look at the mag, because Nvidia has been weak today. All right, so straight away you can see Apple gapping down. There's a big drive yesterday. It was approaching all-time highs, and a little bit of a gap down here is whether it can find a bid into sort of 73s. Amazon, same kind of story. Came in and tested this R level. Can it catch a bid to complete that move? It's got a long way to go to get back up to the highs though, Amazon. That's the big difference between that and Apple. Amazon's been getting absolutely destroyed. It's probably a good buy soon, if not already. Let's have a little zoom out. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is where the start of the origin of the move is. So I'll be interested how we get when we get down to sort of the low 200s if we can. But another gap down there on Amazon. Goog, remember that's been ridiculously strong on a squeeze. Big gap up again on Google. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. We're probably about 3 standard deviation now on the daily. This is very, very dangerous at this point. It needs to come back to here to retest it. We can have a look on the daily very quickly before we do anything else. But yeah, that's frothy. Meta, very strong. Remember, I'm long Meta. All right, I bought the 80s down here. Only a feeler, not big size. I did call it out in Discord. Told you I'd got long Meta for a feeler. So already up $40 a share. But it is only a feeler. I need it to come and base out and prove to me. I'm not sure it's done selling, but I wanted to get something on. The reason that being it had been absolutely decimated back into a point of interest for me. So I wanted to get something on here. If it fails deeper down here, obviously I'll cut it and then re-get involved. Microsoft, so we've got a mixed bag so far. Microsoft gapping down, weakness there. Nvidia, they're really weak one right now. All right, they got absolutely destroyed. All right, had the chance to try and base above this level here that we talked about yesterday pre-market. It had to get back above this zone here. It couldn't. Right, kept squeezing up, failing, squeezing up, failing, squeezing up, failing, back down to the bottom side of the range. If they sell 72s and 70 break, it's probably going to be a bit nasty because we've got liquidity 68s and 64s to go and clear up. So a mixed bag. You got what, 3 green, 4 red right now. We can have a look just slightly outside. I imagine there's going to be weakness in the other chip names. Yeah, AMD gapping down. Oracle probably doing the same. Yeah, Oracle gapping down. So a little bit of weakness across the board here on some other names. Let's just go to Goog quickly so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, that's not healthy. Look where we are pre-market. I would imagine that is a 3rd standard deviation. Yeah, it's a 3rd standard. Remember, Bollinger Bands are 2 standard deviation from the 20-day. We are now above 100% move from that Bollinger Band. We're above a 3rd standard deviation. This is not healthy. It cannot sustain a rally like this. So do not be surprised. Maybe they do a rally for a few more days, but this is going to crash and crash hard when it's ready. I know it's a mega cap, but you cannot go gap up, squeeze, gap up, squeeze without coming back. This is looking like a small cap, and for me that really sums up this market right now. It really does. Right, it's for want of a better word, stupid and irrational. Right, it's not sustainable to do that. It's just not. Really isn't sustainable. 3 standard deviations on a mega cap will not end very well for those buying the highs. Okay, we have got news at 10. What's going on here with the camera? Give me a second, folks. What's going on here? So you can actually see me. There we go. Okay, so looking for rotations today. That's my expectation. I'm not convinced I'm going to take a trade. All right, because I'm really not feeling up to it. Book. Let's just have a quick look at the book. Not much going on. No big numbers on the book. I wouldn't be surprised to see light volume today as well. Let's do these good mornings. Morning, everyone. Can't see who's at the very top, so sorry about that. I'm not sure who it is, but good morning. JMM, good morning. The Richardsons, Chad, Info Risk, Toby, Cold Strike, Sergio, Ahmed, Exploit the Vibe, Tartan, Jeff, Andrew, John Dennis, Calypso, Christy, Jappy, Naz, Full Forward, The Law, Mark, Arrow King, Troy, Brandon, Miguel, Larry, Lokinet, Lauren, Cece, Raphael, One on One, Green Otter, Eva, Dim Sum Derby, what a great name, Bart, Leiron, Avzaid, Abbott, Ronald, Ejecto, John Bull, Abit, Tonio, Aaron, Chad, Richard, Gerald, Marek, Mr. Slim, Priska, 3-bar reversal, Charles, John, Frank, Peter Ilias, Kingdom, Moni Peking, Jeff, Lauren, S Spider, Gangster Garbear, Ready Roscoe. Such a great name, all of these names. Broken Candles, Zappa Croco, and Acer Trade. All right, good morning, everyone. Morning. 3 minutes to the open. All right, so I'm looking for look above and fail, look below and fail. That's really what I'm looking for. Or look below and stay heavy with weakness. But I'm just going to let this do whatever it is it wants to do to start the day. Oh, a sip of my meds. I guess one thing we didn't talk about is the VIX, right? The VIX gapping down, opening up around these 20s. If we start, getting back below, what's this low here, 1925, then maybe we have a continuation of a bullish day or even just a rotation day, slower rotation day. Ukraine peace deal with Russia announced. Has it actually been agreed though? Because Trump tried to announce it and Europe and everyone said no. Let me check that. Where are you seeing that? I'm not seeing that. Ukraine supports the essence of the framework. Right? It's not a done deal. Yeah, exactly. This is what keeps happening. You got to understand, America keeps floating ideas which are not acceptable by Europe or by anyone other than Russia. So it's not going to get done until everyone agrees. So just be careful saying things like that and make sure you understand the actual statement. Peace deals are getting announced every other day. Whether they're done or not is a whole different ballgame. Until a peace deal's done, we're not going to really see it move the market, I don't think. Yeah, well, headlines can say what they want, can't they? If you believe the media headlines, then I don't know what to tell you, my friend. Headlines and reality are never quite the same thing. Okay, let's see. Oh no, I'm not having a go at you, mate. I'm just saying, it's not me digging you out. I'm just saying the headline and the truth is always different. It's like the headline right now from Trump saying inflation's down. Go and actually have a look at the prices. Look at competitive prices. There was a doc on it last night if you want to see where they're saying Thanksgiving's cheaper this year. The cost of the turkeys is cheaper. Or actually, the cost to wholesale is 35% higher currently. So they're just taking the hit. And that's just on the turkey. The cost of every other thing that you will eat or drink has gone up between 16 and 35%. But the headline will say cost of living, cost of Thanksgiving has gone down under Trump. All right, so it's important to always understand the detail, what's really going on under the hood, especially when you're trading. Can't trade a headline. Cannot trade a headline. Easiest way to get killed. All right, so opening up inside here, nothing to do here. Did we just take Asia low, London low? I'll give you a readout on the mag. Tesla 1% down. Here's the big loser. Nvidia 4.68% down. What a surprise! It couldn't hold that ridiculous turnaround it made yesterday. What a surprise! Just this market trapping everyone right now. Microsoft 0.09% down. Meta the leader today, 1.30% up. Google just under 1% up. Amazon pretty much flat but red, and Apple 0.65% up. I think we're going to get an inside bar today and rotation. If we want to dig lower first, then I'm going to have to think about buying off a rotational low. If we can do a look above and fail, which would be my preferred move, we can fade nearer a supply block, which would be much, much better than trying to buy the dip in this market. But let's see. And I'll probably only be here an hour or so, folks. You can probably hear them. I'm really not doing too good right now. I did post in chat, all right, a link in chat. I have just done a partnership deal with Funded Next after taking my first payout. That video will go live today. As with all prop firms, I want to make sure I get paid and that they do all the things that they say they do, which they do. So we will now be working with Funded Next. They have just launched a deal. I'll read it out to you. For new users, you will get 30% off the 50k and 100k legacy accounts and 20% off the 25k legacy account. My advice would be do the 50k. It's the best account by far. All right, so 30% off that. There is now no 40% consistency rule once funded, which is amazing, which means you can hit big winners and scale. For existing users, you will get 15% off your current accounts on there, which are resets. And you'll have to use the link in chat to get it. All right, it's pinned to chat and use code FCT30, but the link is pinned to chat. If you want to get that deal, that's what you need to do, which means a 50k account is currently $111. All right, $111, and that's not a monthly fee. There's no activation fee. It's a one-time fee. So if it takes you 3 months to pass a 50k account, so be it. It's a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio on those 50k accounts. So you need to make 2,500, and as long as you want, and you've got 2,500 end of day drawdown to risk. I don't think there's a better account out there right now. It's very, very easy to pass, very, very easy to get paid. You get paid every 5 days. What was the TPT deal? They've got 30% off on TPT, and if you pass your eval without taking a reset and get to pay out, they will give you your money back. So if you spend $110, whatever it is, and you pass it, and then a week or a month later, however long it takes you get to pay out, you will get that $100+ back. So it costs you nothing. So you can get paid for free. You can literally turn zero investment into tens of thousands of dollars on TPT. Go over the deal again. New users 30% off. I would advise you go for the legacy 50k account. I'm only talking about this because the market's not really... Has this just gone to sleep? What's going on here? There we go. Back towards this New York Open. Nothing happening here, folks. We're just stuck in a very tight range. Just flat at view up and flow zones. Bears have control right now. I don't want to be short here. If I'm going to be short, I want to be short up here or up here. That's why I'm not really touching this. Okay, so Funded Next, 30% off for new users on the legacy account. Look at the 50k. It's the easiest one to pass, all right? It's a one-time fee, $111 right now, one-time fee. Not a monthly fee, no activation fee, one-time fee. That will get you $2,500 in drawdown, all right? It's not a trailing drawdown, it's end of day, and all you need to make is $2,500. You can take as long as you want to make that. There's no monthly renewal. It's a one-time fee. You can have 6 of those accounts. You can get paid out every 5 days, right? You just need 5 days of $200 or more. And you can take up to $6,000 per account every 5 days. And once you get to 30 days, you can take all of it out. And the split is an 80-20 split, so like TPT. But if you hit a big winner, you can take a big old fat payout on day 30. I'll have to check on the live stuff. They probably just roll most of your account over. But I mean, at 30 days, you can take 100% of it. So why would you even want to go live? Just take it all out. Just go live in your own account. Yes, includes Tradeify and Ninja. I will never promote a platform that doesn't include Tradeify or Ninja. Well, I've got a video going live later today, but it has the old prices, so it's cheaper now. But the link, if you look at the top of your screen, there is a link up there in the code. You've got to use that link and that code to get the price. It's like an affiliate only link or something. And well, that's what they told me anyway. Hit your goal, $50 trade on Apex. There you go, nice. On Top Step, it's that they've changed their payout rule policy. Once you take that payout, they've actually gone and changed it again because there was such a kick up. They're basically saying you had to make the same amount of money again in your second and third cycle. They've changed it now, just saying, oh, you need to have positive P&L. What annoyed me was that they left that rule out on all advertising. And of course, their coaches also, who want to talk shit about every other firm and every other trader who are just woeful, also left it out. So they want to take the high ground, but leave the most important part out, which is a change in payout policy on the PAs. But they've gone and changed it again, and now they're saying, oh, it's not confirmed yet. So we will see. But yeah, not a company that I think has good business ethics, as I've talked about before. Okay, so just in the middle of this range, we're literally in no man's land at the moment, folks. If you're wondering why I'm not like actively trading other than being ill, there's actually no area here I'm interested in trading in. You would have heard me talk about this before. Like when we open up in no man's land, I'm not really interested. If I'm going to be a buyer today, right, I want to be a buyer at least at value area low, 750, 700s, maybe a look below even into 600s and a reclaim. If I'm going to be a buyer, I'm going to be a buyer down there. I'm not going to buy the top of this range up here. I'm not really interested in buying the top of this range up here when we're in a major sell. And supply is up here, higher time frame supply, and here. So any look up into here, I'm interested in shorting. If they just puke this today, it is what it is. The sell opportunity, right, was on this failure to move higher here, pre-market, this 830. There's your high. There's your failure to move higher. There are the key levels. There's the lower high. But selling the bottom of this range, yes, it could come down to here, but it could also come up to here. So our risk, all right, is 1, 1. It's not a great location. Remember, we're always talking about location and momentum before any trade. Oh, I'm glad you're happy, Roscoe. Yeah, I made more than that. I took $2,500 out on that first payout. Left a good chunk in, and then I'm gonna get. I actually did it on a 100k account because I didn't realize how good the 50ks were. So I'm got some 50ks in the works now. Get those passed, link them all together. I'll try and get 6 50ks, and just go 6k every 5 days is probably a bit tough to start with. But if I can get to day 30, I think there's a good chance of getting 50,000+ out of those 6ks fairly easily. Especially if the market's moving. Okay, back down towards these lows. Remember, we're thinking about, if you're short this, I can understand being short this. It's just the location's not ideal, but the momentum is there at the moment. You are seeing that bear flag. There is a fail at New York Open. There is a reason to come lower right now, which is what you're seeing. What size do I trade? I actually trade a mini on those 50Ks because it's not a trailing drawdown. So if I can get a good setup and get a mini in. Lots of sellers here on the tape. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm going to have to use a bathroom already. That's how sick I am right now. I'll be right back, okay? Oh, oh wow. What a breakdown. All right, coming into level of interest. Coming into these level of interest then. Previous week point of control, previous day value area low. Market's heavy here this morning. That's big selling this morning. Back to where you came from, market. All right, it can go all the way down to 600 if it wants here. It's very, very possible. If they move lower and reclaim, then obviously there's that move back upside, which is very possible. Back through previous day value area low, but at the moment you're just seeing strong selling. If they want to go 600s, and they will absolutely go to 600s. So I'll be watching to see if they reclaim value. Otherwise, probably a move all the way back down to where we once came from. That ATR picked up, didn't it? Oh yeah, it did. 50 plus points while I was away. So I'd watch previous day value area low here. If they reclaim that, they are so far defending it on the tape. And if they fail previous week point of control, sorry, I've got to zoom this out, haven't I? Down here, it's very, very possible we come back down to where we came from, like I talked about. It wouldn't be unheard of at all. But yesterday was straight up, no structure. Today you'll see more of a bleed out. Will not surprise me in the slightest. Is that point control? Yeah, point control now hit. Still selling this. Not seeing any action here on the tape. This is very heavy selling. 600s, I'd say, it's very possible right now. One thing I did just get notified of, I should say, can't talk again, sweating buckets here, is that Apex have just done another sale. They've extended the 80% sale, but they've added on 100Ks now. If you pass the 100K on an 80% sale, you also get a $10 activation fee, which is bonkers. Okay, seeing someone try and bid here, but I still don't think they're done with it. I'm sweating buckets. I'm struggling here. Sweating buckets here, folks. I think 600s looks possible at the moment. This next block all the way down here, we'll have to see though. Looks very heavy. Angry market right now. Very angry market. Oh, sweating so much. No bid yet, not at all. There was someone down there at 70, but they don't look very strong. It's a big old sell. I'd watch 700s and then previous week point control and see how they act there. But is there any response here from anyone? There's previous week point control sort of test. Through here, they test previous day value area low if they can get acceptance through it. This looks really nasty on the tape. The big players coming in both sides here in this last 30 seconds. Huge buying at the bottom, huge market selling on that last pop-up. Someone, they're being horrible to each other. I don't think they like each other today, these players. There's some big players jumping around here, shoving some pretty big lots down each other's throats. Sellers want to get to 600 by the looks of it. They're defending that previous week point of control. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Interested if we can get down into here. It looks like it at the moment. Maybe if I wasn't feeling so sick, that would have been a trade that I would have taken. I don't know. But right now, I'm just can't imagine doing anything right now. I feel so sick. Mate, it's probably because I'm talking low. Just turn it up your end. I'm not changing anything my end. When is Anchor view up from yesterday? That's far. Still not done selling this. They're being very aggressive here this morning. Tesla, Nvidia now 6.34% down. There's a massive market seller just come and slapped it here. Huge. There you go. So they're reacting afterwards. Someone's pissed off for sure. Probably got squeezed out yesterday. Someone is not a happy bunny. I don't track current week value area low if that's what you're looking at. I'm more interested in the previous week. It's only Tuesday on light volume. So for me, you know, what does that really mean? Well, we've traded light volume here for a day. Doesn't really mean much. Still, we trade lower. 600s, I'm telling you, they're going for it. There we go. Oh. Straight dump. Straight dump. Out of that range. Oh, a reaction of 600 we did talk about is probably where it's going to go. Let's see if I'm interested in doing anything. I don't think I'm honestly well enough to do anything. That's the bigger problem right now. Will they trade back up to previous week POC and sort of gut check that? That's what they're trying to do. Here comes the relief. Previous week point of control, maybe value, 95-ish. Into here. If they get through that, remember this is a straight puke out. We can go straight back up because it's very thin. So if they reclaim this area, they're going to come straight back up here. This is what I mean. It just feels like a rotational market to me. So if you think about what we talked about this morning, this is what we're seeing. We've come from one side of the rotation to the other side of the rotation. I want it to be a buyer down here, and I want to be a seller up here. I don't really want to sell there. It's just unfortunate it's where we opened. And here comes the squeeze. So right back through. They can really rip this now if they can base over 80s. Strong buying coming in here. You'd want to see a seller come back in and see if they can actually produce a higher low, these buyers. Because right now it's just one way down, one way up. We haven't formed any form of structure. So imagine some sellers will come back in at some point. At some point. So see if this pullback holds. If not, they're going to reset it to new lows. Sorry, folks, I'm doing my best here. Still squeezing. This might come all the way, honestly, it might come all the way back up to here now. So VWAP now, and it might come all the way back up to here because you've got no structure in here. That was straight move down, straight slingshot back upside at this point. This is the market that we've got right now. You just have to deal with what you've got. That was your pullback to hold this little shelf, this little thing here. And that's your TP1 and that's your TP2 if you're long. If they resell this, they're going to look to retest this low. All right. Just be very, very smart with how you're playing today. And the squeeze is on all the way back. There you go. So if you took this long from here, or maybe played that little pullback, make sure you're paying yourself on your way. Again, I'm not trading today, guys. I'm far too sick to do anything, fortunately. The squeeze is on so far. Just move your stop out on the way because you're very thin back upside as well. So you've been thin down, thin up. There's no structure here. You're going to have to be careful and protect yourself because you don't know when this squeeze ends. You have targets to aim for above, but it doesn't mean it gets there. Sweating buckets. I'm going to turn this light down a bit, folks. It's hurting my eyes. Come on, Bookmap, catch up. All right, so you'd want pullback to hold if you're going to play long. 700-ish, 680, 700. That's what you're going to need. Pullbacks are going to need to hold that. Didn't even get down there yet. Very, very squeezy at the moment. You need to wait for a pullback here if you're not already long. You do not want to chase this here. You're in no man's land again. They're doing this for a reason. They opened up in no man's land. They puked it. They bid it straight back up, and we're back into no man's land with no structure again. This is not by accident, let's say. They're going to make this hard because this is how they build liquidity. Yeah, and 10 a.m. news, you're right. 2.5 minutes. Well, thank you for the reminder. Absolutely right. Gosh. What a nasty virus or flu this is, honestly. Bloody awful. Bloody awful. Oh yeah, really not good, Peter. I just didn't want to not turn up for you guys. I said I'd be here, but definitely not in any fit state to actively trade. Here you go. So squeeze all the way up. So literally from one side to the other. Oh, they're so horrible. We lack structure. So all we did was a rotation. If you go back to the start of the stream, we talked about the rotations in this market being probably this RBS, or if they wanted to drift through. So fail here, back down to here. Now, if they reclaim this, that actually gets pretty bullish at that point. But there's your rotation. This is so horrible how they've just done that. But also not surprising. Why is Bookmap not following right now? Oh. VIX just got crushed as well after that opening drive, straight back down to its New York Open. That RBS zone was so good, but I mean, it's horrible when it does this. Like, you tap it and then it's gone. So really, what have you got to do? You're gonna have to risk 70 odd points here because of the lack of structure. It's really hard. You're gonna have to size down at the moment. You want me to look at GC? Is it being really good? It looks kind of similar. Oh, I don't like that. This looks pretty bearish to me. Looks pretty bearish to me. They'll probably come and sweep those lows at some point. Are you enjoying trading GC still, JD? Is that your go-to? So straight back down now. I need to see if bulls defend this or not down here. Is there any structure for these guys to build out? What a well, not weird, because it's fairly obvious what they're going to do, but not very nice. They're not playing nice. There was definitely two guys on the tape who were not happy with each other. They both had huge size. Seems like the buyer won at those lows. But yeah, they were very upset with each other. Some bids here at 50s. I still wouldn't necessarily bid this. I'd wait to see if it comes down here. This can just be a lower high that fails again. That's the thing. And they know that. That's why they've done it. They are very, very aware of what they're doing at the moment. I'll give you a readout on the mag. Sorry, my throat. Tesla 2% down, Nvidia 6.50% down, Microsoft 1.51% down. You have a split then. Meta 1.81% up, Google 1.80% up, Amazon 0.14% up, Apple 0.80% up. So they are doing completely opposite things right now. You have strength in the names which are not chip related, basically. So anything chip related is getting absolutely hammered. Anything non-chip related looks all right. It looks all right. It's holding on. Why are you doing this, Bookmap? Please, I don't have the energy today. Okay, write that down to where we came from then. And if bulls don't defend this level that you're at now, then you're probably going to see new lows. Looks angry. Someone's angry again. This is where bulls stepped in. I'd say this level you're at now, 80s, it has to hold. If they don't hold 80s, I would imagine you're going to get new lows. At least that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing. Still, they're selling it. Very aggressive here. Let's see if I can get my Ninja Trader open here. See if these levels are matching up. Where have you gone? There you are. How do I interpret that? Well, consumer confidence is lower than expected. I mean, I think that's probably everyone already knows consumers' confidence is going to be low because it doesn't matter what they say in the media. People are having a hard time right now. That's how I interpret it. I think it'd be anything like that's probably priced in. Is the best way of saying that. like you have to think when you look at stuff like that, even with that fear and greed index, it doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean anything. We all know people are having a hard time. That we all know that, right? It's like the most obvious thing. People are having a hard time right now. It's tough out there. People are struggling to pay bills, regardless of what the media want to put out. Things are expensive, and people are feeling it. So consumer confidence is going to be down. Where are you seeing like safety in those kind of stocks is your discount stores. So you're seeing like your premium stores. No one's buying anything from premium stores, but your discount stores, your Walmarts, your Costco's, come on, but perhaps please, are still making money. So it's always a good sign of a tightening economy. And the range rotation continues then. That's all you're in. It's all you're in, folks. So buyers defending your current point of control. Exactly, JD. There's no breadth. Exactly. It's strong on not even 7 stocks really. It's strong on like 5 stocks or something. That's exactly it. If you look at like QQQE, QQQE, was it NQE? QQQE. We're still not reclaiming. This is equally weighted. If everything was equally weighted, all right. So I think there's more room downside. It's just when are they ready to do it? Maybe not over the holidays. Alex can't breathe. Cannot breathe right here. Okay, back to value area high on the day by the looks of it. Come and test these 800 and VWAP there. Bulls really, I mean, if they want to do something, they've got to reclaim these areas up here and get up here. I mean, I just think you're nothing more than a range rotation right now. Right, failed the highs like we said. We would want to be short up here this morning, didn't get that. The cover point was down here, right? It was your RBS zone and your value area low. They've bid back off that. You don't want to be buying the highs here, and you can't fade a move which is this aggressive. And it's liable to squeeze. Market's done. That's why I had to get this open. 277 points this morning. Both up and down, by the way. It's done it down and basically pretty much back up. So your range is violent. No activation fee on the deal. Yeah, no activation fee. So I'll go through those deals again because it seems like a lot of you are interested. TPT is 30% discount. There is no activation fee. And if you pass without doing a reset and get to pay out, they will give you your money back for whatever you paid for that eval. Probably like $120, whatever it is. Apex just announced an 80% discount. Okay. with the $40 activation fee, but they've thrown in an added bonus. If you do the 100k accounts, the activation fee is only $10. All right, so that's probably the cheapest all-in-one you can get right now. That's super cheap if you want to do 100k. And then funded next, I posted this morning. It's linked up above. That's probably one of the better ones right now. It will currently cost you $111 for a 50k account if you use my code and link above. It will only work with that link above. Oh, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't do that, Jade. I will message them. So you've gone all the way through to payment. You've selected the right account, and it's still doing that. These are the Black Friday sales that I'm talking about. Market Stalker. These are their Black Friday sales. This is exactly what it is that I'm telling you about. So yeah, good of Apex to extend, and that 100k offer is, well, it's pretty interesting, I would say. $10 for activation is pretty good. If we get a news catalyst event, it might be worth having a shot. Code didn't work. Let me message them. So FCT 30 doesn't work. What about FCT? Correct, Mo. You can't take more than a month. You shouldn't need more than a month with the current price action, but it should be an additional. Try FCT 30, and it's an additional on top of the code already. So it's an additional one. So if you click the link in chat above, I can put it in, and then use FCT 30. It will give you an additional amount off here. That link there, I don't know why it does it. It's like that. Let me message them. I've texted him now, so I'll let you know. Oh, it's not live yet. Okay, you got to wait until the end of day. 8 hours. There you go. Well, you know before everyone else. Just wait 8 hours. Yeah, it's in Discord already, mate. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Oh my God, I'm dripping with sweat. This is awful, man. All right, so you've got lower highs and higher lows. Oh, don't do that. All right. This is a nasty formation here. Seriously, TradingView, I haven't got the energy today. There you go. All right, and it's going to probably get tight in here, and then maybe it comes up here, maybe it comes down here, maybe it looks above fails, maybe it looks below fails. This is all about building liquidity. That's all today's session is. Remember, we're just an inside bar. Look at your daily. All you are is an inside bar. I think it might be new users only. It might be just be for new accounts. New users, yeah, new users. My link would still get you a discount, but I don't know if you'll get everything off. You'll have to try it tomorrow. I can't imagine that's right. I think their language is just off. It goes live tonight. His market's doing nothing. Nothing other than trapping. What's the rest of the market doing? doing? Nvidia down at that 170 doesn't look too good. VIX basing out. Yeah, it looks awful. I don't think the market's going to change from what we've seen here. I don't think it's got a reason to today. I think this is it. It was just going to do a rotation and that be it. I can't believe that lower day was 602 and we said 600. Crazy. Back through previous day's value. Can they get acceptance above though? Back into value. At the moment, doesn't look like it. This would be the move back into yesterday's value. At the moment, it really doesn't look like it. And just zoom out, like look at the 5 minute. Nothing's going on here, folks. That is leave me alone if I've ever seen it kind of move. All right, if you caught the short this morning, great. If you caught the long back up, great. But in here now, this is going to just rotate and chop people up. It's done its move. They've probably made their money for the day. Yeah, don't blame you. Don't blame you, Peter. There's just no follow through either side. And the range is actually pretty big. The ATR is still pretty big. No acceptance over previous day's value. No acceptance underneath previous week point of control. This looks naff. Just naff. Back to value. Can't get through value. It's current point of control on the day here now as well. So just a thick traded level. Until we move away from that, there's literally nothing you can do with this. Yeah, it's going live later. The funded next one. It's going live today. Just waiting for the artwork. Oh, come on, market. I'm probably going to get out of here in the next 10 minutes, folks. The market's not doing anything, and I feel dreadfully ill. I thought they'd come back up to test this side of value, but at the moment, there's just not even able to do that on a rotation. They're just stuck, doing nothing. You made money on the short and then long, and then retested weekly pivot, created a higher low and rotation from there. This one, yes, that made sense. We said 80s, didn't we? Drifted just below, but there's no close below 80s. But now I don't know. Don't know what they want to do. I guess it depends if they're done selling the chips or not. Maybe up to test value like we talked about in VWAP. It's not a short I'd want up here. That's the problem. The short's much higher right now. And you're starting to get multi-time frames fight, which is going to be a problem as well. because that last pullback into 680 or that low 600 which held could technically be a higher low, well, is technically a higher low on an H1. So shorts don't have control until that's taken out. If we go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the day. Oh, wrong one. If we go back to the very beginning of the day, we talked about this move here, probably being the rotation between these. All right, so first leg, second leg, right? What happens now is important. Does it do this or does it reclaim for the squeeze? And I doubt it makes the decision today, to be honest. I think we just build the liquidity today and it makes that decision maybe not even tomorrow, maybe after the holidays. We'll see. It's kind of how they've set it up into the holidays is pretty tough, I would say, to make that decision. Is there a downside to getting 2 or 3 accounts that refund on passing? Well, the downside is if you're spending money and you're a newbie, you're saying, and you don't pass them, it's going to cost you money. That would be the downside. That's the risk, right? Because I don't play options. There we go. Simple as that. Because I don't. I make my money trading futures, and I roll it into ETFs and stocks. I don't trade options. Just not my thing. I don't want to deal with theta and gamma exposure and time decay, and no, I'm all right, thanks. I don't mind taking leaps. Okay, back towards previous week point of control again. Market's still not moving. Range starting to tighten a little bit here, but it's still pretty decent. Still looking at 50-point M1 candles. Do they soak here again? I'd say Nvidia 170 is going to be key. It's sort of bouncing around there at the moment. That looks somewhat key at the moment, I would say. They protect the edge of this range and trade back upside. Yes, they do. And it's that 170. You're going to go into chop between these levels now. What do I think of the 100K deal? You get $3,000, but you need to make 6, but it's relatively cheap. I mean, yeah, look, the 50K and the 25K are the easiest to pass. If you want the extra little bit of wiggle room, it's worth it. Is it a harder pass? Definitely. It's very cheap though, but it's basically the same price as the 50Ks if you pass it, but you get an extra, what, $500 of draw? It's not that much. Just personal preference. It probably comes in about the same price, does it? Depends how much you want that extra $500 of drawdown. First short made sense, but do you think taking the retest of Globex VWAP and 5 min 20 EMA was a good idea, Alex? It felt a bit risky after the squeeze up. You took this one? Yeah, I think that's fine. There's your shelf. That's your structure where we broke down from. That's the retest of it. As long as you had a reason to something to risk off, that made sense. Definitely. That made sense. Now, nothing makes sense to me. This short made sense, but the location wasn't ideal. This long from here was great long, but again, didn't offer great structure. And this short makes sense. Now, I don't think anything makes sense. Remember, we talked about coming back up to this shelf. All it's done is test structure. Remember, like, we built liquidity, we failed. All right, Alex is in the bathroom, but you get the big failure. 600 was the level, right? The RBS zone. They bid. They go back to where? We've got no structure, so we bid back to structure. Bid, structure. Fail is where sellers took control. Back down to where we bid off. Okay, now we're doing the same thing over and over again. If you think about this line and this line, test that. Okay, test this. Okay, test this. Okay, test this. Something is going to give as they keep playing SNR. At some point, someone is going to get hurt outside of this. We don't know which way because it's a total gamble right now. Let me have a look at Goog. I mean, that's a good hold. See how it tested structure? There's your structure. No structure here. Test structure and held. If Goog fails this, that's your first lower high. Really, the weakness comes when it starts letting go of this. I wouldn't say it has to do it. But I would say the move is stupid. Like, I don't think this is sustainable for a mega cap. I know it's playing catch up, but that's like I showed you on the daily. It's past 3 standard, past 3 standard deviation. Just put it this way: from what's this day here? Friday. From Friday a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, I have to go a bit lower. 330. From the beginning of this month, it's added an extra 33% in value, in market cap, in like 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, it's added 33% extra market cap in 4 weeks. It's too much. It's not sustainable, not for a mega cap. A small cap can do that, no problem. Still on Google, no, there we go. $50 is a big level. It's probably one of the most traded levels up here. 564 lots, but I'm not seeing like anyone offside really. I'm just seeing it build out. Nvidia's still holding that 170, and that's the key level. It's bidding off 170. Back to previous day value area low. Well, can they complete this squeeze up now? That's the question. Can they run all these stops through here and retest this? If they reclaim this, can get nasty. But again, it's just a range. I wouldn't want to be bullish up here. I want to buy down here like I talked about, but I'm just not well enough. That was probably a decent risk buy here because you don't have to risk a lot. But that's being annoying. It's not catching up with the price action. All right, I'm going to have to go to bed soon, folks. I'm really struggling here. 5-minute orb was pretty good this morning. Really good, actually. Did that set? Yeah, failed look above. Really good, the 5-minute this morning. So just remember, I think you're in a range rotation. So, You know, even this move up, maybe they come up to here if they get really lucky, but you probably get sold. Maybe they clear out some stops if you get very lucky, and then they get sold into. I don't think we're going to see a sustained move outside today. It makes sense for this to be an inside day with look above and look belows, which fail, because that's how they're going to build liquidity for whatever they want to do next. In my mind, anyway, that's how I'm kind of viewing it. Retest of this high up here. New York Open. Well, Google's trying to catch a bit of a bid. VIX coming downside. Back to value on the current day. You're still inside your IB high. IB now set. You're just no man's land. As you get into the top of the range, I'll be looking for looks above and fails. If you get into the bottom of the range, I'll be looking for look below and fail. That's what I'll be looking at for you guys. There's a couple more minutes and get out of there. Almost there. It's a complete rotation. Video now well off that 170 level that I talked about. So they saved it there, now trading at 171.75. So they did save it there on Nvidia. Do they want to come back up for these highs and clean these out? What have we got on Globex if it wants to do that? 878, where's that? Oh, it's that high. That'd be a very big move. Yeah, I will get some rest shortly, don't worry. I'll probably take Friday off, though, to be honest, if I'm feeling like this, because it means I won't get to celebrate Thanksgiving, so I'll probably take Thursday, Friday off. This has put me behind schedule on making the course for you guys as well, unfortunately. I wanted to finish that this week. I just haven't been able to. Okay, so they're trying to break out. There's your squeeze. I'd say they're sell up here probably. Maybe run these stops and a sell up here if they get through this. Maybe a big squeeze and then a sell up high. You have to see. You have to keep your eye on a mag. And just expect the rotation today. It's what you have to do. You have to expect rotations on days like today. Meta looking really good. I'm kind of gutted I didn't size more into that. I've got a feeler on it, and that's it. And I'm already up 5% on it on a swing. Kind of annoying. Battle at 8s here. Failing 8s here. Do they hold this pullback where they just broke out from, I guess, is the question, or not? At the moment, it's looking like a failed breakout like we talked about. Big failed breakout. to run its point of control. This is why I'm saying that edge of rotation. I'm surprised they didn't run the stops first. They might come back for it later now. But here's your value for the session. I'm going to draw this out for you, and then I'm going to get off. All right, that's the deal. That'll be the deal. All right, let's just make this make sense for you all, so you can see what we're dealing with. I have to zoom this out. All right, this is the previous week's value. All right, that's your previous week's rotation. Where's previous day? This is your previous day's rotation. And this is your current day's rotation, your developing rotation. All right, you can see how we've built liquidity. We're not finding, bears are not finding acceptance underneath here. All right, so bears are not finding acceptance underneath here. Bulls are not finding acceptance over here. So your rotation is going to keep taking place in this zone. If we get under here and hold that, bears will take control for a rotation lower. If we get above here and hold this, bulls will take control for rotation higher. But what normally happens in these plays will be bulls will get trapped looking for a rotation and get dumped on, or bears will get trapped looking for that rotation and get dumped on. What I would say is momentum is with bears, so I would be more inclined to look for that than I would for that today. And I'd be more inclined to look for this than I would for this. But we'll just see. Hopefully that makes sense to you all. All right. Like we talked about at the very start of the day, the levels I've given you have played out. 600, rotation down, probably bid off, probably build an inside bar. That all comes from looking at the daily. Right. This all comes from understanding we're probably just going to rebalance. Right. We have not got above. Right, we're not in breakout. Right, there's your swing. We're not in breakout. There's your previous day. What have we just done? All we've done is come to Friday's high. That's all we've done. We've just repriced. We are probably going to build in here, because what that allows, if too many bulls get in here, or if they do this move next week, or Friday maybe, it allows downside pressure. If too many bears sold the lows and they do want to print this higher, right, then this breakout here will be amazing, because you're going to have bears stuck here and bears stuck here, and then they can get a squeeze, and this can still be sold into. You cannot rule this out, and that's still being sold into. It's very, very possible on a higher time frame. Look at the balance that we've created here now. We've spent so much time here, and especially, who remembers this level? 25,000s to 700s. Well, that's basically all we're doing. Hello, hello, hello. All right, it's the same level over and over and over again. They're going to keep rotating because they know how key this is for dependence on what happens next. Remember how we built liquidity here in September, October to get to all-time highs. We can do the same here for Santa Claus, or we can do the same for saying, hey, good night, sayonara retail, we're out here. Right? Hopefully that makes sense to you all. I am now going to leave here. I'm really sorry, folks. I was really, really hoping I'd be well enough this week to trade with you all. I didn't think I was going to go as downhill the last few days as I have. Hopefully it's nothing too sinister. I do have some slight concerns because it's gone quite a while now. This is approaching a week and it's getting worse, not better. But hopefully you guys are prepared. What I would say is if you are someone that likes trading trend, today is probably not the day to trade. All right. If you're not good at playing rotations, be okay with leaving it. What I'd also say, the one thing we should probably talk about just before I leave, is why holidays are hard. Right, this is your daily. I'm just going to stick some volume on here. Okay, can you guys see that? All right, this is saying to me sell. All right, downside pressure, increased volume. Once we get to the low, look at this big drift day yesterday. Very, very low volume on that drift day. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, that is a low volume drift day up. Remember what we look for when we're playing pullbacks. All right, so if we're in an uptrend, we want the up cycle to be increased volume, and we want this cycle here, the pullback, to be decreased in volume, decrease in volume. God, I can't talk. All right, so the trend is lower. This pullback leg yesterday was decreased volume. If we pin this in and then sellers come in, that's where we get liquidation for new lows. All right, so just be aware of that. This is holiday volume and pullback volume. Do not get caught in it. Especially those of you who like trading Globex, I'd be increasingly careful trading Globex this week, because the participation is going to become less and less and less as you get more and more New York traders taking increased times off. All right, folks. Big love, everyone. I pray the Most High remove your sickness. Speedy day, speedy, bro. In the mighty name of Yeshua. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm really hoping I feel better. I will trade with you tomorrow, even if I feel like this. I'll get on for an hour. Thursday will be off for Thanksgiving. I will probably take Friday off. I cannot imagine there's any good volume or any good trades on Friday. And if I'm feeling like this, I think those extra few days in bed might really help. And then we can trade Sunday. This is how ill I am. I can't talk. Then we can trade December really well and close the year out with a good year. All right, folks. I will pop in to Discord after a little nap and stuff. Let me get some more meds in me and we'll go from there. Please trade safe this afternoon. You can see it's a rotational market. Please don't get stuck. Don't do anything stupid. Don't fight. Remember, your job in rotations is to see money, take money, and survive for the next day. Peace and love, everyone, and speak to you soon.